So this is just going to be a quick video because a lot of folks have been asking me for my take on the first part of Camille's cross-examination of Amber Heard that we saw today. And boy, isn't it glorious. A good cross-examination is just a thing of beauty. If you watched my earlier video on the Isaac Baruch cross-examination, then you've seen me make quite a number of comments about what one should not do in the course of a cross-examination. But I haven't really spent a lot of time talking about what makes a good cross-examination and what that looks like. And we are seeing Camille demonstrate live in living color for all of us how effective it is to let the evidence tell the story. That is the key to an effective cross-examination. When you try to quibble with the witnesses, get them to agree with inferences that they're clearly not going to agree with. These types of things end up just not being very persuasive to the jury because nobody really wins in those scenarios. But the jury is going to look at the evidence, and it's the evidence that will win the case. So the key to a good cross-examination is simply, number one, you pick out what is your best evidence. These are your weapons. Your facts are your fists in a jury trial. You pick out what are the best and strongest ones that you have, and then you find a way to present those so that they weave a narrative together for the jury. And the narrative that is being woven here by Camille is a very simple one. Amber Heard is a liar. She makes these claims that can't be substantiated by the photographs that exist at the time. She makes incredible claims about the types of injuries that she says that she has that are clearly not visible in any of these photographs. She suggests she has all type of evidence that for whatever reason, hasn't been able to get it in front of the jury, blaming other people for that. Now it's her lawyer's fault, although we notice she hasn't shit-canned her lawyers. They're still here working for her. And she's really done a good job, I think, of picking out the objective contradictions that really just cut Amber's legs out from under her with these claims. Specifically, I really wanted to see that doctor's note from Monroe Tinker. That was critically important. She got that in. We want to hear more of the audios. We wanted to hear about the donations. We wanted to hear Camille point out to the jury that you can and should draw inferences from what Amber Heard hasn't presented to you over these years that she has claimed to have suffered severe, debilitating types of injuries, but has produced basically nothing photos. I think she did a great job of pointing out, you've given us Johnny sleeping. I mean, that's the creme de la creme. That's really sums up how little Amber Heard has really brought to substantiate these absolutely outrageous claims. I do want to see her push a little harder on Amber Heard is officially a liar because she has pled guilty to lying to the Australian government. She's probably getting there. Personally, I would have started with that. And the reason why I would have started with that is because we know how sensitive Amber is about that. She just told us in the conclusion of her direct examination how it was torture for her to get online and see people calling her a liar. That tortures Amber? Great. Then that's what the fuck we're going to start with, because we are going to make you unhappy and uncomfortable from the first moment, and we're going to establish who's boss. But people have different styles, different perspectives. That's the type of thing. There's not a right way or a wrong way to do it. That's just my style. I'd fucking come out firing with that. We want to make sure that Camille doesn't forget the rest of the Tablescape photos. That is a really, really important part of proving that this was a hoax. If this was all the way back in 2014, she was setting up these images. took different versions of them to try out. Finally landed on this one with the property of JD box in it. Texts that to her friend Raquel, and then is later using that to substantiate some kind of, binge-induced assault by Johnny. So showing the composition and the effort that went into producing that image, that this is not in fact a spontaneous photo of your kitchen table at your apartment in Los Angeles, I think is very important. So hopefully she didn't forget that, and will get back to wrap that up. I'd like to see her lay the stage, assuming that Brian Neumeister is going to be able to testify to metadata alterations, manipulation, the EXIF data from the 1970s, things that are not really explainable by just a good faith effort to take photos and preserve evidence and produce it for a later trial. I'm not going to fault her for that because she knows what the in limine rulings have been and I don't. So it's possible that that's not going to be allowed. It does look at this point like Judge Azcarate has excluded a substantial number of Amber's photographs. This is why Amber is saying, I'm trying. I wanted to produce that. So between not producing things in a timely fashion and not producing things that can be authenticated, it does look like that is the remedy that Judge Azcarate has chosen. I am still wondering if we're going to get that jury instruction on being able to draw an adverse inference from her metadata shenanigans, but we'll have to wait and see about that as well. Couple things that I want to see come out that I think are important for the hoax, but I'm confident that they're coming. Obviously, the disappearing bruise. We have the photographs of her outside of the lawyer's office the day after she went and got the TRO, laughing joyfully with her friends Raquel and Josh, and not a bruise to be seen on her face the day after she went in there with. Interestingly, her photos that she submitted make it even more obvious that this is a large zit that she has worked on and maybe put a little bit of bruise color type of thing on, but it is obviously a zit. She thinks she's going to gaslight the jury. I mean, I don't know. That's the beauty of this cross-examination is letting the evidence speak, letting her explanations speak for themselves as well. She's trying to explain to the jury that the things that she said on this audio were her taking accountability. Okay, let them listen to the audios and decide that for themselves. She doesn't need to quibble with Amber over that type of detail. It's again, the evidence speaks for itself. Her explanation weighed against that evidence also speaks for itself. So overall, I think Camille is doing a really good job. She's telling a very clear story of Amber's dishonesties, Amber's failure to substantiate the claims that she is making. I am hoping and waiting to see a little bit more of the Amber's own internal consistencies, the way that she's shifted her stories. Obviously did that right when she started her direct examination today, coming back after, 10 days off of the trial. And suddenly she and Elaine are on the same page about how to correct mistakes that she made during the previous session, even though they weren't supposed to be discussing her testimony. So they did the little prehabilitation to take the sting out of cross-examination with those inconsistencies. But the very fact that she's had to change it is itself a problem. She also did this in the UK, where she had her March stories and then got confronted with photographs of her with Keith Richards, with her visibly uninjured face, after she had, claimed that he hit her and split her lip and so forth. So she has a history of shifting things around when she is contradicted by objective evidence. That needs to be drawn out more and illustrated to the jury. But there is still a lot of time to go, a lot to accomplish with this cross. I think Camille has started off very strong. I think we were just getting to the point at the end of the day where Amber was starting to get a little annoyed. I just loved how she got angry at the very idea that she was a victim. I don't know why you think that is going to persuade the jury that you are a victim, Amber, but I think that's really good. Anything you can do to get those true colors to really shine through. So a lot still to work with, a lot of time still to look forward to tomorrow. This is absolutely fascinating drama. This is trial at its best. It's a very effective cross-examination, allowing the evidence to speak for itself. That's how you do it. Camille is doing it like a pro.